Thank you for joining us today as we go through the 2019-20 Grant Volunteer Training. I hope you find this training to be beneficial and useful as you are preparing to serve as a grant allocations volunteer. Grant Teams Training. This training will consist of about 10 minutes of just information about the process and how we allocate funding to community partners, your role in the process, and then also some of the role of the United Way, some of our changes and things we're doing to be effective and efficient in our work, and innovative ideas we've implemented here in York County to best serve our community. Let's start with the United Way's mission. Our goal is to improve lives by mobilizing the community around the world to advance the common good as a national organization. But here locally, the United Way's goal is to transform our community by offering opportunities which improve quality of life. If you take a second and review our board of directors, you'll see that we have a vast board that consists of members across the community, ranging from business leaders to community leaders. If you also review our staffing, so grant volunteers, your purpose is to provide wise stewardship of public funds, to represent the donor's voice, ensure accountability of donors' investments, review agency and programs, and make funding recommendations for board approval. Recommend program funding based on documented community county needs, accessibility for York County residents, program effectiveness, efficiency, and sound program principles, both operations and finances. The goal here is to really vet the programs that we are supporting in York County. Make sure that we are doing our due diligence to ensure that every donor's gift goes to best serve York County citizens and residents. The goal of the grants volunteer is to do some of the assessing and evaluating of our community agencies, looking at their documents provided in their application, their finances, how they govern their organization, some of their rules and their practices, how are they being efficient and effective, how are they accommodating clients, that type of thing. So it gives you an opportunity, the application does, to go in depth and really review and pull out sound principles that show how an organization is making a change here in York County. Agency eligibility is determined in January. We completed that process the latter part of January. We had 25 agencies request funding for this particular cycle. We will start the agency review meetings on March 18th, and those meetings will run until March 29th. Also, applications will be due back to the United Way office on February 20th. Grant Cabinet members will determine funding recommendation. The team chair will then meet with the United Way Board of Directors in May to do the final approval of the recommended dollars from each of your panels. So to give you an idea of where we're going and how we're breaking down the funding, we'll start with 2017. You'll see that that year we funded 41% basic needs, 25% education, 25.1% in health, and 8% in financial stability. In 2018, we made somewhat of a change and we funded a little less in basic needs at 39.1% and a little more in education at 27.9%. Health was 23.7% and financial stability was 9.3%. You'll see over time that United Way has been in this place of transition and looking at specific areas where we can make the most impact. Now, how do we really move the needle on specific issues and really drive change in our community by being more effective and more efficient in how we allocate our resources? which has caused us to really focus and hone in on the education piece, workforce development in York County. A lot of our agencies have really started that transition and did a great job at identifying ways that they could be impactful in the space of education. And so we want to look in that in more depth, but I want to give you some history of how we arrived at that place. So in 2015, we commissioned Winthrop University to do a community needs assessment. In that assessment, you will see that some of the top issues were good paying jobs, affordable childcare, affordable senior care, affordable housing, services to help with financial crisis, and employment services. We also did a focus group. In the focus group, we looked at specific issues such as transportation, lack of cultural and economic sensitivity, lack of affordable housing, barriers to healthcare, lack of job opportunities, lack of resources, and disparities in educational resources. The goal of these two assessments were to really help a United Way align with some of the key issues in our community so we can drive change in those issues and really build support around those particular issues. Our board and staff met on multiple occasions to really build a process to respond to those issues, and we found it to be somewhat daunting. Picking the right issue, ensuring that we are implementing it correctly, ensuring that we are connecting the right partners, and we didn't find that to be the case. So we worked with a consultant firm. We were connected with that only works with United Ways across the nation. And this consultant firm looks at transforming United Ways to an issue-focused United Way. So here's our process and where we are in that issue-focused continuum. We met with our consultants, our board did, and agreed back earlier this year to become, or last year, 2018, to become an issue-focused United Way. And from there, we did a strategic plan. We are identifying specific issues that we will address. And we're trying to find issues that we can galvanize the community around and really pull in support for what United Way is doing here in York County. So fundraising versus issue. A lot of times people want to know, what is issue focus exactly? Right now, the United Way model is the fundraising focus. We go out and we solicit the support of donors and workplaces. And then from there, we have an annual campaign goal, which we raise money. And then we allocate those dollars back out to funded partners and programs across the county. So different initiatives, different issues, different great community work gets funded through United Way through this fundraising model. But what we're strongly considering and our board agreed on is the issue focus model, which you will see is a little different. It focuses on that same group of donor and workplaces, but we've also added government and foundations to that process. We create, as United Way, a long-term bold goal that is measurable, and it focuses on a single issue. And our funded partners change. We will have the traditional funded partners, but also other organizations, government entities, faith-based entities that we may have not had under our fold in the past, but they are all working in that space of whatever that issue is we choose, and collectively we'll work together to really move the needle on one particular issue. So what issues are we considering? We did a community survey, and these were the 4 issues that were highlighted in that community survey: children and families in poverty, affordable housing, livable wage, mental health care. Of course, those are all 4 issues that greatly affect many people across our community, and we want to see how we can delve into those a little more and really influence change in those particular issues. Your role. Your role is to read each application thoroughly. Really invest time in making sure that the applications are clear, that the practices of the organization are evident, that it's clear the work that they're doing in our community. Ask questions. Make sure that you understand the impact of that organization. How are they measuring their results? Are they being accountable? How are they achieving success? And are they moving the needle on specific issues? Advocate for the community. You are the voice of the community during this process. You speak for so many in our community, and you help them have a voice in this whole process. Retain the confidentiality of agency staff and clients. A lot of times in this process, you will receive information, and agencies will share things about their internal workings that they expect and appreciate us keeping confidential. But they want you to get a real inside scoop and understand better exactly what's happening within that organization. So there are no surprises, and so you can use best judgment when you make a decision on how much dollars you will recommend for allocation. So in 2018, we implemented the Community Force grant system. We will be using that system again. It is a very efficient way to score and evaluate agency programs. Agencies are completing their applications through the Community Force system. They also completed their annual report and mid-year report through this exact system and eligibility. You will receive the applications. You'll get a alert when the application is available. You can go in and review it, make edits, recommendations, all in this great system. This platform provides you with sign-in credentials. You should get an email sent to you with your credentials, so please check your spam folder in case it's sent there. If you have any questions or if you don't receive your credentials by February 8th, please reach out to myself or Danielle Sanders here at our office so we can make sure that you get the information that you need. Logic model checklist. Last year we started the logic model checklist as we were reviewing and confirming agencies. And some things that I think are important to remember as you're going through your logic model. Is the need of the program clear? That is very important, that the need is evidence-based, that it's something that is actually important or critical here in York County, that we feel that we really should be focusing on and investing dollars in. Is the target population clear? Are they helping York County families? That is our target population. We want to ensure that we are covering York County families, and that if it's saying that it's supporting a particular group within York County, that group, whether that's youth or seniors, that's the population that is being benefited by this program. Are the outcomes focused on the client? Are the outcomes within scope and influence of the program? Is the outcome truly important? Can you see the connections of all parts? Are the inputs, activities, outputs, and outcomes, are they all really aligning with each other? What are inputs? Inputs are essentially the tangible things that the organization is doing. Activities are the resources that they have. So what programs they have to respond to this issue. Outputs are the people that are being participating and being involved in the program. And the outcome is how many people have been influenced or changed through this initiative or through this program. Are the activities doable? Are they reasonable and sound activities? Are the activities sufficiently described to provide your understanding of what the staff and volunteers do at that particular organization? Those are some of the things to look for in the logic model. Evaluating the agency. Make sure the agency has community support, that their administration and governance is effective and efficient. They have a governing body. They have rules and bylaws. A lot of that we've already vetted in the eligibility to even receive funding and receive access to that grant application. But those are questions that you often will have to ask. Is the organization financial sufficient and sustainable? Are United Way funds needed to operate? Should they look for other financial options? And the impact and the effectiveness of that particular program are all key things to look for as you're evaluating the agency. Program descriptions, program goals, again, the target population, any indicators, best practices. All of these things help you measure their success. But also, I think what is most critical is how do they measure their success? How do they show that they're being effective? That is really a good practice of all nonprofits in being able to measure and account for the success of that program or that entity. I love this quote. As often as we would love to be able to hand out dollars, it is never an easy process. So Aristotle says to give money is an easy matter and in any person's power, but to decide to whom to give and how much and when and for what purpose and how is neither in every person's power nor an easy matter. This year we have 5 grant teams related to the following areas. One is financial stability, basic needs. We have 2 education teams and a health team. So I wanted to make sure that you knew the teams that you'll be serving on and also get to meet some of your team chairmen. Scott Wallace will be chairing the Education 1 team. And the Education 1 team will consist of the following agencies. Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club of York County, Boy Scouts, Clemson Extension, Girl Scouts, Rock Hill School District Foundation. Scott will also be chairing Team 2, and Team 2 will consist of the following agencies. Children's Detention Home, Early Learning Partnerships, International Center of York County, Keystone Substance Abuse Services, the Palmetto School at the Children's Detention Home. Team 3, Health, chaired by Sabrina Gass. Adult Enrichment Centers, Affinity Health Center, Keystone Substance Abuse Services, York County First Steps, Safe Passage, Serenity Club, Rideability Therapeutic Riding Center. Team 4, Financial Stability, chaired by Scott Wells. Austin Wilkes Society, Pilgrim's Inn, and the Upper Palmetto YMCA. Team 5, Basic Needs, chaired by Harvey Hawkins. American Red Cross of the Northern South Carolina chapter, Clover Area Assistance Center, the Havens Men's Shelter, Safe Passage, Salvation Army, and York County Council on Aging. It's easy to make a buck. It's a lot tougher to make a difference. And you all make a difference when you work in this process, when you serve as a grant volunteer. We're so appreciative to have your support. I value your time today and your willingness to listen as we go through this process. Please let us know if you have any questions. Our team is available. Our number is found on the slide, 803-324-2735. If you have any questions throughout the process, we look forward to working with you. You should be receiving more information very soon, giving you more direction on the process, what's requested, and what's needed. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you.